Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Suhaila binti Muslimin. My number matric is 2C5789 and my partner is Nurasyatul Nabila binti Abu Jabbar. The number matric is 2C5805. Okay, today we would like to present about the classification of breast cancer using the artificial neural network. Okay, first for introduction. Breast cancer is the cancer that started with the cell that go out of control in the breast. There are almost 1.7 million case diagnosis in 2012, where it's representing 45% is all over cancer, and the incidence rate show the different total case in worldwide, where is from Eastern Asia to 92 to per 100,000 and 37 per 100,000 in the Middle Africa. And this cancer become to the most common cause of death in women, with about 532,000 and 6.4% for the total case. And the purpose to classify the data set using the multi-layer perceptron that will assist on backpropagation for hidden layer in the last of recurrence event and no recurrence event. Next for the related work, okay, they previous paper use the backpropagation and radiobasic to know the different classification throughout the neural network. There are also papers that was conducted artificial neural network to collect the data and get the thoroughly the prediction of this cancer. And there also a paper that was review machine learning technique that was used in the early detection of breast cancer. And this machine learning was used to improve diagnosis and detection in breast cancer. The paper was implementation several combination of machine learning technique on detection of breast cancer and diagnosis to get the accuracy.
This is a methodology. The methodology show that the data preparation, table 1 training and testing of the for the type of classes. First of all, the training and testing, which is has a 70% for the train and 30% for the test. That has a two type of classes, which is the target, no recurrence events and recurrence event. For the training, for the training, for the total training is 201 instances, while the total for the testing is 85 instances. Next. Secondly is the experimental setup. Table 2 show that breast cancer data set that is from UCI machine learning repository. The features that have in the data set is 10 that include the class. The class is the target, which is a non-recurrent event and recurrent events. And the total of instances for the dataset is 286 instances. Next. Uh, that is a machine learning that we use for in the classification breast cancer. We have a tree which is a multi-layer perceptron, backpropagation, and activation function. Firstly is a multi-layer perceptron. Multi-layer perceptron that generate input layer to output layer. Some of input layer are connectedly direct from graph that is input and output layer. In MLP, use backpropagation to train network that is not only for one way. Secondly is backpropagation. Backpropagation used to train in multi-layer perceptron. In backpropagation that has a single or more hidden layer to calculate the accuracy, while more than hidden layer can give the benefit to classify the application that have. But one hidden layer use one hidden layer they use sufficient. Third is activation function. For the activation function, also the same for the all the nodes or the different functions. They also know activation function in some of the application which is employing the output nodes. Then multi-layer perceptron we train to get the balanced ability input response to input and ability which respond correctly in input pattern that was used. Next.
Next, for the result and findings, table 3 show the way of layer, which is hidden layer that has two input of weight and two output of weight that for each weight has the bias. And the result show hidden layer that has two input started with 0.937 and 0.557, and while the output started with 0.768 and 0.370. And based on the result, show that neuron in input and output layer has connect to the neuron in the hidden layer.
Table 4 show that three network for fixed number of inputs. It show the square, some square error, some square error each training inputs. We can see a trend of this error decrease which each input in the network. The output and delta value can be ignored, and we can update our training function to delete the data if we want. As you can see, for input 0, the error is 6.066, while the input 10, which is 4.448. For the table 5, show that mean accuracy using backpropagation. As we can see, backpropagation choose configuration achieve mean classification accuracy of about 100%. Whenever they have a 5 neuron in a hidden layer and 3 neuron in a output layer. For the conclusion, as you can see in this study, we use a data set breast cancer that was taken from the UCI machine learning repository that to analyze the most useful breast cancer for classification model. We also use a neural network to approach breast cancer. Then a number of the configuration of network it can help first, to classify the breast cancer that using the data set. The result also show the ability of a neural network to classify. It can apply into the target class. Then it also strongly ability of classifier models of neural network. It's the best performance was decided for network output. That's all. Thank you from us.